here with Casa Libre. We're gonna go check out what she's doing. Let's go say hi to her. Yeah, let's go. Hi. What's going on? Can we join you today?
Yeah.
We're really hungry.
I can make some arepas.
Okay, we're coming in. Okay. All right. Cheers. Another Donuts and Tortas interview, and we're here with Christine from. Where are you from?
Fountain Valley. Well, from New York. Sorry, New York.
But you're from La Casa Libre.
Yes, La Casa Libre.
Yes.
Yes, of course. How can I forget?
That's
what you're here for.
What is La Casa Libre?
La Casa Libre is a place where you can find Latina, señora vibes, inspired Latina bachelorettes.
Love it.
Anything you need, we're here. It's a señora vibes
mug, dude.
official.
And of course, there's, we can't leave out food out of this interview. So what are you going to be making us?
I want to make you guys some arepas con queso.
Oh my goodness.
Which is a Colombian traditional breakfast meal that I love to make and eat. So I thought that would be great to share, right? Why not? We're Sunday night, Sunday morning.
Yeah, the best things to cook are the things that you love to eat. So we're down. We're down.
Both of my parents are Colombian, so in my household, arepas every weekend is always a thing. Your grandma's making it, your mom's making it. Usually not the guys. Usually the girls of the household are making the arepas. And they're really simple, like a simple dish, but you have to have the right technique to make them, which took me a long time. So what I like to do is I like to put the dough here first, and you just let it kind of air it out. And the dough that I'm using is this one. It's venezolana, but it's okay. Okay. We still use it. It's the best. If you want to make arepas, Medellin style, paisa style, this is the dough that you're going to use. You can get it at Northgate. The recipe always says, oh, put a cup and a half or something, 2 cups. No. You put in a little bit at a time, because then that's how you can tell. So you kind of just have to, I just eye it. I put at least half a cup first. I use a fork first because it gets really messy. And you just kind of want to make sure that every single piece gets the water absorbed. So that's how I like to do it. As you can see, the dough's kind of forming a little. And now I'm going to get in there with my hands. Ooh. That's the important part too. Some people kind of don't mix it. They kind of just, you just kind of go in there, and no, you kind of have to I don't know what this technique is called, but it's kind of you grab it and you slide it. And that's I think that's a very important part of making arepas, or any similar kind of take it and slide it all around. As you can see, it's, I don't know, you can kind of feel it. It's kind of sticky, but not too sticky, because nothing is sticking to my hands anymore. So this is a good dough now. And then we just leave it sit for a little bit, because it needs to do stuff.
All right.
I don't know.
So do stuff. We'll leave you there.
That I do know I have to do. If you don't do that, if you don't let it sit, it's not good.
Okay. So what's gonna happen right now?
Okay, so we're gonna make you guys a little HTV. You can iron it on something if you want. A little design that says Donas y Tortas.
Oh.
In this glittery greenish teal color.
All right.
Which is kind of like my brand too, and yours, I guess. It's pretty color.
Meant to meet.
Yeah, love it. So I just have to get this design now onto the Cricut app. So I'm going to save it and send it over to the app. All right, so now it's set on here. I'm going to stick it on here first. Just a little piece that you need. So 5 inches width. So I had a lot of different ideas, and La Casa Libre was supposed to be a place for, I always went through bad breakups and bad relationships, and where people always wanted to minimize who I was. So when I came up with La Casa Libre, it was kind of I just wanted a place to feel free, where other people could feel free. So that was my goal, just to have libre of judgment, libre of people keeping you down, of shining your personality down. So that's where libre comes from. And I was gonna make shirts that said libre and it kind of evolved into Latina bachelorettes, which I love. It's still really fun, and yeah, I think my message still shines through either way. Measures it first. Like a hook that I use to lift the vinyl up.
There it is.
There she is.
Aww,
That's so cute.
That's so cool.
I have this extra tote bag here, so we're gonna use it. And first I'm gonna make sure it's nice and straight. Nice and ironed, I mean, like flat, because there's a lot of wrinkles in there. I think I just dirtied it a little bit. Play it by ear, yeah. Play it by eyes.
Yeah.
30 seconds should do the trick. To press on it. So yeah, I'm gonna just make sure this piece is nice and mold it together. And your hands have to be a little moist or wet, I guess you could say. Like lubricated for this. Like tortillas, I think. Alright.
Are you checking this out? This is cool.
Alright. I start in a ball and then I roll it out like that. And then we do like this thing here with my palm and my fingers. Oh, it's like a baby one.
Dude, you're going fast. I like it.
Sorry.
No, that's great. You look like you.
You should see my grandma.
Really?
And this is where you need the lubricant over here, because then you're gonna from hand to back and forth, and then that's it. And then you don't want to just squeeze it with your hands. Maybe you could do that with a plate or like a tortilla maker, but when you're doing it with your hands, you don't want to just squeeze it, because then you're gonna get like little ridges and it's not gonna be good. So you just have to like flatten it out with your fingers. So these fingers here and your palm are gonna squeeze it like that. And when you're doing that, you're pulling out the dough from the middle to the edge, and then with this thumb, you're doing the same. Like you're kind of just like pushing it, and then this hand is like stretching it out a little bit. That one came out a little.
It's okay. A little dry.
That's why I like this dough, because even if you make mistakes and it's still a little dry, you're gonna still get a good, like, you could still make a good form. Like there's other doughs that they're not, you can't do that.
So tell us about the Encanto ones. When people say
The
Encanto
Encanto ones,
when
I
they see
think,
the
have
Encanto
like
ones.
melted mozzarella cheese in the middle, which are really good. And they're made out of a choclo, which I think is like a sweeter variation of corn, or maybe they put sugar in it. I'm not really sure. But they would like make this, and then the mozzarella cheese goes in the middle, and then you would roll it, like you would fold it again and then flatten it out, which is like kind of like pupusas. So I'm just gonna leave it warming up there. And the way you know it's ready, it's like tortillas too. Like if it bubbles, you see it like rise a little bit, and it'll rise in a few certain places, and that's how you know it's ready on both sides.
Okay. Touch it?
When you touch it, it's like rising up, so it's almost done.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Time to eat arepas, guys.
Cheers! We got our
Cheers.
arepas on. We already had a bite.
Yeah, I had a couple of bites.
We had a couple bites, so let's have some more.
Very cheesy, very corn-ish, and yeah.
It reminds me of gorditas.
Oh yes.
And I mean, I love cotija cheese anyways. I love the pinch of salt.
Pinch of salt.
It's crunchy.
But kind of gooey and soft in the middle.
Yeah.
So not too gooey, but chewy.
Yeah.
Chewy in the middle.
You know, Anna and I already shared some of the other ones. So anyways, it is what it is. It's that good.
And some people eat it with hot sauce.
Yeah, can you tell us a little bit about that?
So I made for the first time I made this for my boyfriend. My lovely boyfriend. He's Mexican, so he had to add a little bit of his culture, and he put some hot sauce on it, which I, as a Colombian, have never seen in my whole life. So that was a lot to take in, and it still is, as you can see.
Earlier, you were talking about like this idea of your business, La Casa Libre, and how it speaks to this idea of being free, but being free of yourself, being free to be who you are, which I think is really powerful and it's important, especially, you know, being Latinas, there's all these like narratives and you know, expectations, and especially with being a señora. So I see your shirt there, señora vibes.
Yeah,
AF.
señora vibes.
So, and then you talked about that, this idea of like,
Yeah.
So I want to kind of pick your brain about like, what does it mean to be a señora now? Like, is it sort of like you're reinventing what it means to be a señora?
Yeah, because, well, first let's start with like the general term. Señora is to describe an older lady, right, that's married and that fits a certain stereotype, right? But I feel like you see a lot on social media, you see a lot of younger people now saying, oh, I'm living my best señora life, I'm living my señora era, or señora vibes, like my shirt says. And listen, I'm not married. So technically, yeah, I don't have kids. I'm not married, so technically I don't fit that definition.
Yeah.
But I still feel like I kind of fit in my own way, and I feel like a lot of people feel the same way. So all of us, not just me, are reinventing what it is to be a señora. Like, so we know who we are. We know what we like to do. We have our hobbies. We have our friends. We have our food that we like. And we love to take care of people. But we know that it's not just about taking care of other people. It's about taking care of ourselves. Like, we come first. We know who we are. We know what we can handle, what we can't handle. And that to me is really important about the señora life.
You mentioned something earlier about like how you felt when you were younger, like in high school and in college. Like, what about that when in our younger days?
In our 20s.
I don't want to say in our youth because that makes it seem like we're like wait, just a few years ago. Like,
Which is true.
Kind of. I think when you're growing into your, like, to be who you are, a lot of the influence is what's around you, right? Or what people are expecting you to do. And then when you hit 30, right, there's this idea of like, oh, when you're 30s, like, you're not going to care what anybody says. Like, your 30s are, for you. And, for me, in my early 30s, like, I was waiting for that moment of like, when am I going to feel like that? Because I still felt like I was just very, very much in being influenced by what other people were telling me what I should be doing or how I should be what I should be doing. Until the last couple of years, where I finally unfortunately, some mental health stuff happened where I really took a minute to think about like, why am I behaving the way I am? What's influencing all this? And then it made me realize like how much I had left my relationship with myself and how much I was not listening to the real me, so that I could be free. Like you said, this idea of being free to be myself. And so finally, I'm in that phase where I'm like finally doing the things that I want to do, and trusting myself and being a señora con poder, and just, I don't know, like, for you, have you had that moment? What has that been like for you? Yeah, share a little bit more about that.
So I feel like this year, or I guess when I say year as a business owner, because I started in April this business journey. So I want to say in this year, I think I really learned about just being myself and not caring more like what people think, especially with social media, because you kind of have to put yourself out there, and you're used to doing it with your friends and your family, like, oh, you share your weekend, whatever you're doing, but when it comes to your business, you really have to show a little bit more. because people don't know you, so you have to show people who you are.
Yeah.
It's not just friends that are following you. You like new people that are getting to know you. So I think that really forced me to really get to know myself a little bit more and feel comfortable with certain things that maybe were jokes or not jokes, or like, yeah, you know, like I have messy hair. Okay, I like to wear my messy hair, or I like to dress down sometimes. Like, things like that. Yeah.
Let's take it a little deep. Let's go a little deeper.
Okay.
This arepa is getting to me, and I'm like, all right. This idea of like how people think you should talk, dress, look, all this stuff. What helps you every day to just get a little bit closer to being brave enough to be yourself? Like, what are moments where you're like, is it simply like you decide you're like, no, I'm this is what I'm gonna do, or like what does it look like for you when you make those decisions every day to be a little bit more closer to who you really are?
I think it has to do with a lot of just being tired of not doing that.
Ooh,
because
okay.
I feel like when you're, like you said, in your younger years, like in your 20s, you're still figuring out who you are, so you're trying to fit in all these boxes, and you're trying to do this, trying to do that, trying everything, and you're just like, I'm just exhausted. I just
that's so
I want
true.
to stop trying. Like, I just want to be myself.
Exhaustion, yeah.
And I feel comfortable enough to stop trying too. Like, okay, I'm like just gonna be myself, and if you like it, great. If you don't, you have to keep moving. Like, I think what helps me is just seeing people like you out there.
Stop.
Like, put yourself out there and like realizing.
I'm doing the same thing you
like,
are do, by the way, for the record.
You're on a journey, and that's like surrounding myself with people like you that are not afraid to like choose this journey, right? Because we're choosing this path,
I
choosing
know.
this journey. So I think it's like surround yourself with people like that. First of all, take out all the toxic people.
How?
Oh, yeah. And we know muchos tóxicos y tóxicas.
And let's talk about that for a minute, because the reality is that most people who are toxic are usually probably not addressing who they really are or what it is they really want. A lot of people, and I've learned this through therapy, is like a lot of people are in their role self, right? The role that they have been, that they took on, and they've disregarded what they really want, what they truly feel, and you're being true to yourself. And there's nothing more liberating than that, to be true with yourself, because there's no lies, you know?
Yeah, and then you see that different opportunities open up when you do start embracing that. So that's kind of just like the universe or God, whoever your spirit guides, like confirming you're doing the right thing. So
I love that.
Like extra.
That's true. It's like extra affirming moments where you're just like, okay, let's talk about the moments when are hard, because that's also just as important.
Yeah, so I was saying, like, I like to surround myself by people who inspire me. And then I also really have had some bad times where I just need to practice affirmations. I'm a really big believer in affirmations, and like I like to listen to them, especially when I'm in the shower.
I love it.
I like shower. You have some cheese.
Some more cheese. I'm
So
just really
yeah,
enjoying
I
your
know.
arepas, dude. I'm gonna have a bite. I'm already
It's gonna
eating.
happen to me. Knowing that there's not a timeline to everything. So maybe some people say like, oh, you need to have everything in a month. No.
like, no.
Listen, I've been through a lot of moments where I'm like, oh, I have this great idea and I have to do everything now.
Right.
No, you don't. Like, everyone's different, so you can't have like a timeline or a time frame. Like, it has to be done by then. Like, just go through the journey, and if it works out, great. If it doesn't, you learn something from it, and you try something different.
I like that.
That's another part of like just like, even if your first business idea doesn't work out, I would say keep trying.
Yeah.
Because that's the only way you learn what you like and what you don't like. Like, I had a couple ideas about this, and I X'd a lot of them out.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I X'd a lot of them out.
Oh.
And it kind of like, I didn't realize I was on a journey until now. And I'm like, oh, now
That
I
led you
realize.
here.
Because I did try something similar. Like, I wanted to run my own Zumba instructing business.
Oh.
Because I love to dance.
Okay.
And we'll see some of that later. I love to dance. I love to dance, but I think I like to dance, and that's it. I don't like to be an instructor.
You learned that, but you learned that. You
I
took
had
a chance.
The
Yeah.
only way I knew that is by being an instructor and actually
Oh,
teaching
I
the
love
classes.
that.
So I liked it. It was fun.
Oh, then you better teach us some stuff when we're out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah, but it wasn't making me happy. So I realized like that was not a path for me. But that's okay. Like now I could still incorporate dances with TikTok. Mm-hmm. Right?
Which you will see.
Like I'd still have fun with it.
Yeah.
And like I tried to do my own tarot business. That didn't work out.
Okay.
Because I had to learn that though. I didn't really like doing readings for other people because sometimes people like want to know specific things and to me it's more about the journey, not like just answers. So like I like the broader message to everything. So I realized that maybe I shouldn't be doing that.
But I love that you it sounds like I love that you're like putting yourself out there and that you're taking the time to like find out those answers. Like, do I want to do this? Well, let me try it out. Like, I think a lot of people are even afraid to do that. So I think this is really encouraging because it all led you here to this point.
Yeah.
So it's like it was all worth it.
Yeah, and I didn't know that at the time. I just thought that I just failed at something.
Oh.
And now I'm a little older, a little more seasoned.
A señora.
Yeah, la señora. I realized that those are just opportunities for me to learn about myself, and I should have never been hard on myself about not achieving something great in them. It just was like a lesson to learn. You need one person to kind of like lift you up in those moments.
Believe in you.
Yeah, you need a believer, and it doesn't need to be a relative or they'll eventually see
the fruit of your
the
labor.
Fruit of the labor.
Yeah.
But if you just have one person
that
will support you, and like maybe you feel like it's too much, like okay, like you're supporting me too much, like it's okay.
It could even be. It's funny you say that because it could be. I think as simple as even just having like a friend who once in a while is like, hey, like I love what you're doing. Like I think it's so awesome. Like they admire what you're doing, and I think that helps me. I mean, sometimes I just get that feedback and you're just like, okay, like
I used to get weird about feedback like that.
Really?
Yeah, I used to be like, oh no,
why?
They see what I'm doing.
Why?
But
now explain that part though, because
so
I wonder why.
I just maybe wanted to hide a little bit, like I didn't want to be seen right away, like
because you did care about what people were thinking.
I did. Maybe that's what it was. I cared too much about what people were thinking. Yeah. So then when someone realized like, oh no, they're judging me, but they're honestly just giving me a compliment. Yeah. So just take it.
I love that.
Take the compliment. Take the good. Take the good.
Yeah, take the good.
Sit in it. Just hold it. Because I guess I struggle with that.
Think about, for example, like my weight loss journey. I think there's a lot of people out there who, when they're losing weight, they're like, oh, like are people gonna notice in a good or bad way, right? Mm-hmm. And I remember I was on this like live Q&A with this like trainer guy, and I asked him this question. He said something really interesting. He's like, that's great if somebody says like something good about your journey because they recognize the hard work, but at the end of the day, you're not doing it for them. Like at the end of the day, these comments they're nice and you can acknowledge them, but they're not your reason for the hard work you're doing or the way you're pushing through. And I think when you can have that sort of like objective relationship with feedback, where you're just like, okay, like, or even when people are oversharing, recommendations, you're like, okay, that's great. Like, I'll keep that in consideration. But when you know who you are and you take ownership, then it's like you can protect yourself from the good, the bad, you know what I mean? And so I thought that was really interesting. And I think that could be applicable too with business. Yeah. It's like when people, that's great if people see what you're doing, but is it the reason you're doing it? No. Right? So I think it's about making sure that those wires are not crossed and that you're like clear about why are you doing it, who you are, and all.
You know
what?
I think that's going to be my third one. Actually, I'm going to switch it.
Okay.
So,
I'm a little
sorry.
Switcheroo. Okay.
Let's rewind.
Okay. So 3.
Yeah. 3 is learning how to take feedback, the good and the bad, because that's actually very important. Because some people will. I'm sure with your weight loss journey. Yeah. Oh, you should try this. Oh my God. Yeah. You should try this. Yeah. Oh my God. This shake is so good.
You should go to this gym.
Yeah, like you should take this class. Like,
thank you.
I didn't ask for your opinion. I already have enough in my head. You don't need to give me another reason to fail at this. Like, it's kind of just taking the feedback. Even like some people are just trying to be helpful.
Yeah, they are.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah, you don't take it any You don't have to take it deeper, or
No,
you
just
go, okay.
don't, like, and it's kind of just like, thank you. And maybe like jot it down mentally or like somewhere, and maybe in the future it will be like it could be. But sometimes people like, oh, I have all these ideas for your business. Like, okay.
Like, thank you.
Thank you. Has nothing to do with my brand, but thank you.
Yeah.
But they are just trying to be helpful, and they like care about you, and they see that you're doing good.
Yeah.
So they want you to keep doing good, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay.
Yeah.
They believe in me, and that's okay to have someone believe in you and help you, and that's it. And then when you take when you have good feedback, just knowing how to like receive that as well.
Especially like you said, if it comes from the people that like care about you and want you to do well, like that intention, that is important too. But
like, you don't have to just do everything on your own.
Being small business owners, also there's, you know, and at Donas and Tortas we do like to talk about mental health, because it's to be honest, it's really through mental health that has brought me even back to Donas and Tortas, because there was a time there where I wasn't really as active because I was, you know, I was working, you know, I had my day job, and you know, I also had like this idea of like, you know, pressure on myself of like succeeding and this and that. But at the end of the day, you know, what brought me to Donas and Tortas was because this is what I genuinely love to do. You know, when I talk to you about my role self and my true self, you know, this sort of stuff, it supports my true self, you know, expressing myself and getting to know other people and their stories and sharing them. So mental health played a big role in helping me come to terms with this idea of like really bringing out that true self of my mind and being more committed to this effort and to this passion of mine. But also with being a small business owner, mental health can also be, you know, it can play a bigger role, because now you're really out there, you know, hustling and doing the things for your business, which is really great on one hand, but it can be also very stressful. So the question is like, what are things that have helped you, or how has mental health?
Knowing your boundaries. Knowing your boundaries is really important. Knowing when is okay to turn off. Because as a small business owner, you're working for yourself. You're working for yourself, and you kind of want to keep going. You're like, oh, I just have this one more thing, and then it's like 2:00 in the morning, and whoop, you like,
you're like, wait,
your partner's asleep, and you didn't cook dinner, and you didn't clean, and kind of forgot about the world. I think you have experience in that.
Sounds somewhat familiar, yeah. Well, I was even doing that, to be honest, when I was working. So
yes,
but there's this extra layer now, because this is something that's yours.
Yeah,
you know, that is
so you want to work.
So
it's kind of fun. Like, you're kind of getting lost in this world.
Yes.
But you have to know when to turn off, like, your boundaries, because as Latinas and we come from immigrant families, like, we're hard workers, and actually want to keep working. You want to show the people that we're worthy, that we're, you know, that all these things, and we
so
want
much validation.
Issues. Yeah, exactly. Like, we just want to work so hard, and like, it's okay not to. Like, it's okay just to turn off and like not work yourself till like 2:00 in the morning every day, and take a day where you can just be in pajamas, like, you know, eating whatever you want to eat, eating junk food. Doesn't have to be healthy. Your hair's all messy, and
enjoying the journey, don't you think? Because I think that's something that supports this idea that you're saying about boundaries. Because being a small business owner, it's like it's all about the journey. It's not even the destination. The destination, it's like, is the result of that passion, but it's like, it's the journey of like, you're building something of your own. Yeah. And if you go too fast, you're gonna miss the moments, and before you know it, like, you'll be hopefully, you know, in a successful place. But then you're like, wait, like, the whole fun part, the whole passionate part is that journey leading up to success. How do you feel about that?
Like, I feel like you're right on with that, because like you're always pushing yourself, because like you want to see, and you're always like learning and you're growing, so you want to keep going. Like, I want to learn this, I want to learn that, but like, you have a compliment to celebrate. Like, celebrate yourself. Like, you started your own business. Yeah. That's an accomplishment on its own.
Yeah.
One sale, every sale is an accomplishment. It doesn't have to be a large number of sales, but every single sale is an accomplishment for me, because that means that someone liked what I did, and they believe in my, you know, company, and that's what I'm doing now. Like, I'm appreciating every single, like, even if it seems little, I celebrate it. I'm happy. I'm like, yes, I'm doing this, because it's all me. It's all me.
And you inspire me too. I mean, I think community is so important.
Yes.
You know,
I'm so happy that we met.
I know we met at a networking thing, so that worked. Hey, that worked.
I signed up for
the
your
Amiga Social
marketing.
Club.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Social
Amiga
Club.
Social Club.
Thank you. Shout out.
Shout out. But yeah, because we can all be in our like worlds, and it's like the more that we connect with other people, you realize that you're not alone. And even in the struggle, and even in the journey, you know that everyone's kind of going through stuff, so you can lean on each other too. I think in good ways and support. So I think yeah, thank you.
That was
thank
really fun that night too.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Well, I think I told you.
Yeah.
Or on the phone, but I'll tell you again.
Yeah.
They have a marketing company, Hire AS, and you really need to check them out.
Thanks.
And I've never seen a marketing like Latina duo like that.
Oh, really?
So that kind of like inspired me. I was like, whoa.
Aww.
Like that was just incredible. I was like, wow, they're really doing it, and that's amazing. It was so informative too. It was very like straight to the point, very informative, and sometimes that's all you need. You don't need all the gimmicks, you don't need all the shows and the lights, you just need the information.
Yeah.
And you guys were really good at that.
Aw, thank you.
That really inspired my like how to just like I rebranded after that. Like I already know.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I kind of wanted to rebrand already,
Okay.
and I didn't
that was
know.
The push or
yeah, I
whatever?
didn't know like how to change my logo, and then once you guys pointed out a few things, it just made sense, and I changed my logo.
Oh,
so that's my new logo now.
Oh,
thanks to
didn't
you
realize
guys.
that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yay! That's awesome, dude.
Probably like that weekend I did. I was like, oh my god, I'm so inspired.
Oh. Oh, I love to hear that. And
yeah, so
we
that
love to
really
hear that. No, it was
with that.
That's really awesome. Thank you. Anna and I, been in the industry, and also just being like a queer couple, like in Orange County, like it's, I know you're from New York, but out here it's like, it's not like in LA, like it still has, we're a little bit behind in terms of like progress and being more open for being gay. And so I think about the shirt that you made us, but
I know.
I think it's really awesome that you're supporting that, and you're seeing that you're open to finding ways to be inclusive in your business and in the work you're doing. So thank you for that. Because it's been interesting to be at these networking events and being like, I opened up a business with my wife, and it's like, I realized like I'm actually like coming out to a bunch of people, and these are some of them are older, and you don't know how they're going to react, and so it's been kind of an interesting experience for me lately to do that, but it took me to be like, really embrace who I am,
exactly.
through and through, that I'm like, that I can do this and be like,
that's what we're doing.
Who I am. That's it. Like this is what it is, and everyone actually is like whatever, so that's good. It's been, but it's liberating, I guess, is what I'm trying to get at, I guess.
Yeah, that I respect that.
Yeah.
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 Nothing to add there.
I think we're ready for some dancing. What do you think?
Yeah.
Should we go dance?
Yeah, I gotta put my dancing shoes
Okay,
on.
so I didn't know you were a Zumba instructor, so now you're really on the line, girl. You're gonna have to show us some stuff.
That's a couple years ago.
She's gonna have to show us some stuff, so stay tuned. We're gonna go do that.
I will try.
Yeah. Cheers, girl. Thank you for the food
cheers.
and the
Thank
chat.
you. That was fun.